Hi there! It's become very popular to say if your dog does not like treats, then just use toy rewards. Today, I want to explain why this is not always the best choice and why you have to use toy rewards for the right reasons. Let's go! I have been talking a lot about treat motivation recently in my videos, and one answer that pops up a lot is, well, if the dog does not like treats, then you can just use toys for training. Why, it is true that toys are a super form of rewards, and they come with their own set of fantastic advantages. We cannot always replace treats with toys. The first thing we need to discuss is your dog's emotional state. When you are training a behavior, you are never only training the behavior. You are always attaching an emotion to that behavior you are training. And depending on what that emotion is, the behavior might look drastically different than you imagined. In general, it is easier to encourage calm emotions with treats, and toys pretty much only can encourage pumped up and energetic emotions. Here's an example. The behavior of a down stay in itself does not have any emotion attached to it. When I hear down stay, I simply think of a dog that remains in a down position until released. Now, on this spectrum of down stay, on the one hand, we have dogs that are completely calm, completely chill, patiently waiting their turn over long periods of time. And on the other hand, we have dogs that are pumped up and full of energy and ready to go. You can actually see both of these behaviors in my training videos. In some videos, my dogs are stationed and they are so calmly waiting their turn, they basically fall asleep at times. On the other hand, if we are working on impulse control or on an agility start line, they are laying there just ready to go with coiled springs. Now, how I train this difference is by using different types of rewards to attach different emotions. The calm, patient stationing is rewarded with treats that are delivered directly between the dog's front legs. That coiled spring charged up, ready to go downstay, that's rewarded with a toy and an explosive release. Now, if you are, say, struggling to teach a calm downstay and your dog is refusing treats, then simply replacing those treats by toys is not going to make your dog any calmer. Your dog is just going to get more pumped up. So, when you're thinking about what reward you should use, please keep in mind that different rewards encourage different emotional states. And make sure that the emotional state you're getting is the one you're actually aiming for, and not just the one that you happen to get because you had to pick a reward. The next thing we need to discuss is that using toys can actually mask major underlying problems that our dog has. So many times, toy-driven dogs will refuse treats when they are stressed, scared, anxious, over-aroused, in discomfort or even pain, but they might still take toy rewards. It is extremely important that we're fair to our dog here and that we're listening to what they're telling us and saying, oh, I see, you have this issue with this situation right now. I'm not just going to throw you a toy to override your negative emotions. I'm going to help you solve this. I have a really mind-blowing story about this. You have seen my dog Kicks in many training videos. What you probably never realized is that she is missing her rear outer right toe. And this is because about 2.5 years ago, she got very, very ill. Her toe became swollen, it became red, it became oozing, and it was profoundly painful for her. Her state deteriorated really quickly. We were at the vet pretty much every day, no antibiotics helped, and eventually we could see on the x-ray that the bone was being destroyed, and back then we didn't know by what. There was the worry it might be cancer, and she was in such a huge amount of pain that we made the pretty quick decision to amputate the toe. Now, at this point, she was completely non-weight bearing. She would not put any weight on this foot. In humans, we know that a bone infection, which is what it turned out to be, of this sort is excruciatingly painful. The recovery time from this amputation surgery was 4 weeks, which is actually pretty quick, but still, for a dog like Kix who likes to run and play, I knew it was going to be sad for her that she could not do so. So I thought I am going to offer her to play one last time if she would like to on the morning of the amputation. And I got out a toy and I thought maybe she would want to tug a little bit, but I did not expect what happened, which is that she was completely weight-bearing. She put all her weight on this foot. You would not have known that she had a bone infection so bad that her toe was going to be amputated a couple hours later. She just played so wildly because of this profound toy drive that she has. Kix recovered well. She's totally fine now. It turned out to be a bone infection from a cactus spike that she stepped in. However, the big lesson from this is if your dog is toy-driven, this toy drive will override a ton of negative emotions. Your dog might not want to take treats because they're very scared, they're very stressed, they're very anxious. Maybe they are in some sort of physical discomfort or pain, and they might still take toys. Now, in my opinion, it's unfair to mask their discomfort by simply giving them the toy that's going to override it. So if you are in a position where your dog is refusing treats, let's say they are very stressed out because they're reactive and they're in the presence of a trigger, simply giving them a toy is not the solution. It's our responsibility to make sure that whatever makes them uncomfortable is decreased in intensity, okay? Because obviously Kix's bone infection was hugely uncomfortable and she was still able to play. That's not a sign that a toy would be a fantastic reward in this case. This is just a sign that the toy drive of our dogs sometimes is a little bit too high for their own good, and it's our responsibility to make sure we do not override any other underlying issues. So, now that we know in which situations we should not use toys, which is A, if we're trying to train a low-key behavior with a calm emotion and our dogs cannot do it, and B, any situation where we would be overriding a negative emotion with that toy, let's discuss when we should be using toys. A great application for using toys in training is to teach behaviors where you do not need a lot of precision, but a lot of speed and dynamic from the ground up. A recall, for example, is a perfect place to use toy rewards. Or if you're teaching an easy behavior such as spin left or right, you can lure with a toy. Another good application is if you're teaching behaviors that require a little bit more precision and you have taught the beginning stages with treats and then you're moving to toys to add that extra splunk to it. Finally, toys are fantastic for proofing behaviors and adding an extra element of arousal. Now we're coming back to the fact that for some dogs, the toy drive overrides everything else, so toys do offer us an excellent opportunity to prove our dog's behaviors. I actually use toys a ton in my own training, but I always use them with purpose. I never simply use them because my dogs refuse treats. Maybe your dog has been rehearsing refusing treats, then we need to address this, and I have a separate video on that topic that I will link below. Or maybe you have yet to figure out the perfect reward for your dog and your perfect reward dynamics. Only use toy rewards to enhance your training. Never use it because your dog simply refuses treats. So, if you use toys with purpose and for the right reasons, they can be a fantastic addition to your training. They can really bring you to the next level. And now I wish you happy toy training!